Yeah, I think like as far as kind of trying to make a prediction for the end of cycle, I think that's really difficult to do. I think you can only really get a grasp of perhaps what's going to go on over the next couple weeks to maybe month or two based on the data that you have, currently. But just based on Bitcoin's historical performance, we do have some modeling around how we can kind of predict Bitcoin's theoretical price peak. Willie has his top model right now. That's I checked it this morning. Actually, it's showing $176,000 is kind of the on-chain price ceiling, while Delta price, which is served historically as Bitcoin's price floor, that's right around 14K. So that's quite the range in there. But yeah, I think like over the next couple weeks to maybe month or two, based off of some of these like accumulation trends we talked about earlier, I suspect we're going to see higher prices than we are now. Short term, we're still technically in this range. We could come back down and maybe retest the middle of the range, around like 35, 36K. But, over the next couple weeks or so, I suspect we're going to start to see some of these aspects of the supply shock that we've been talking about start to get priced in.
So you think we're most likely going to be heading back up?
Yeah, I think the big thing is when we start going up, what I'll be looking for is this a dead cat bounce or is this like bull run continuation? Which obviously I lean on the latter, but if we started to go up and then all of a sudden you saw these long term holders who have been buying, if you started to see them dump, basically looking for some exit liquidity and trying to like sell the dead cat bounce, like to me that would be a really bad sign. So we'll have to see once we theoretically get this price move out of this range up in, from 42K. It's pretty much just air between 42K and like 49, but we'll have to see in that range once we get up towards 49K, which I think we will. Do those long-term holders just start taking that as exit liquidity, and like do they just start dumping their holdings then, or are they expecting higher prices and are they continuing to hold? But I kind of lean on the latter just because of how strong they've been accumulating. We've seen like unprecedented buying from these long-term holders over the last couple months, which granted some of that is short-term holders aging into that long-term holder cohort, which is they have Glassnode uses a 5-month cutoff. So like some of that is are UTXOs that were bought on March 5th, and those are just now starting to age into that long-term cohort. But in general, aligning that with some of the other accumulation trends we've seen, I think the vast majority of that is actually buying from these long-term holders. So yeah, that's what I would be watching to see.